Okay, deep breath, we finally got a date for Starsand Island, February 11th. Which fine, I get it, the devs probably want the game to actually work when it launches, which is apparently a controversial stance in 2026, but here we are. But that means you've got a week, 7 days of staring at your Steam library, wondering why you own 847 games, but can't find a single thing to play. I know this feeling intimately, I'm currently experiencing it. So instead of doom-scrolling Reddit threads about whether the delay is a red flag, I went through my library and found 7 games that scratched the specific itches Starsand was supposed to scratch, and honestly, some of them could do it better. No, I'm not talking about Stardew Valley, you've already played it. Twice, we're going deeper. And let's start with the most obvious substitute. If you wanted Starsand specifically for the tropical island fantasy, the palm trees, the ocean, the I'm gonna rebuild paradise energy, play Critter Cove. It does the island thing and it does it weird. You inherit a rundown tropical town that used to be a tourist destination, except all the tourists are anthropomorphic animals, and the town is basically post-apocalyptic. Your job is to renovate buildings, attract these critter tourists back, and turn the place into a functioning ecosystem again. The renovation system is genuinely satisfying. You're not just slapping down pre-made buildings, you salvage materials from ruins, craft furniture, and customize interiors room by room. The December 2025 update added expanded room customization and theming systems, so you can really dial in specific aesthetics for each building. The critter tourists themselves have personalities and preferences. You need to assign homes and jobs based on what they like. Some want rustic vibes with wooden furniture and fireplaces, others prefer beachy setups with hammocks and coastal decor. The happiness system tracks whether you're meeting their needs, which affects how the town develops. And the world is actually open. You get a boat immediately, you sail between islands, dive for resources, and fish in different biomes. The exploration feels earned because the islands have environmental puzzles. You'll need specific tools to access certain areas, so you're constantly unlocking new zones as you progress. There is also a farming system that integrates with the cooking mechanics. You can grow ingredients and prepare meals for your critter guests, which ties into their satisfaction and the town's reputation. The pacing is slower than Starsand probably will be, but that's the point right now. You're waiting, you want something that lasts a week without burning you out. Critter Cove will absolutely fill that gap. It's designed as a cozy, no-threat experience, pure building and exploration without combat or stress. If you need island vibes right now, this is the move. Half of us are buying Starsand Island because it looks like a playable Studio Ghibli movie. The art style is doing things to us, I get it. Fields of Mistria looks like Sailor Moon had a baby with Harvest Moon, and if that sentence made you feel something, you need to play this game. It's a farming sim built around magic, but not in the way you might expect. The magic system gives you utility spells that integrate into farming and exploration. You unlock spells by finding seals in the mines, things like summon rain that waters your entire field at once, growth that accelerates crop cycles, or dragon's breath that clears debris and rocks without needing tools. The spells aren't just cosmetic shortcuts, they fundamentally change how you approach tasks. Instead of manually watering 50 crops every morning, you cast Summon Rain and move on to other priorities. Instead of spending stamina chopping trees, Dragon's Breath handles it instantly. It's about efficiency and removing tedium without eliminating the satisfaction of progression. The romance options are chef's kiss. 10 main marriageable NPCs plus 2 special candidates, 12 total, with actual character arcs that evolve based on your choices. The dialogue isn't the usual I like flowers generic stuff. These characters have opinions, conflicts, and storylines that interweave with the main plot about restoring the valley's magic. There's March the blacksmith, who's dealing with family legacy pressure while trying to recreate ancient techniques. Island the scholar, researching the curse and the valley's history. He's kind of a mess, but endearing. And Bala the travelling merchant, with a suspiciously detailed and mysterious backstory. The writing is good, like genuinely good. I've seen people on the subreddit writing fan theories about the lore. The seasonal festivals add personality to the calendar. Spring has a flower festival that's mostly social. Summer features a meteor viewing date night event. Fall brings the harvest festival with a berry competition and feast. These aren't mechanically groundbreaking, they're story and relationship moments, but they give the year structure and incentivize you to keep playing through seasons. And the pixel art. Now I know I've said pretty pixel art isn't a selling point anymore because every indie game looks like this now, but Mistria's animation work is fluid. The character portraits have multiple expressions, the spell effects have weight, and the environmental details like how snow accumulates on rooftops or how the lighting changes during different times of day, it's polished. The mine is where you unlock most of your progression. You're not just grinding for ore, you're finding seals that grant new spells, discovering lore about the curse, and uncovering the valley's secrets. It ties exploration directly into your magical abilities. If you wanted Starsand for the aesthetic and the promise of magic woven into gameplay, Fields of Mistria is already doing that, and it's in early access, so it's only getting bigger. And if that sentence, Sailor Moon meets Harvest Moon, just unlocked the core memory for you, do me a favour and hit that like button. It helps the channel, but it mostly tells YouTube we want more games with actual style, not just generic assets. And if you're new here, hit subscribe. I review cozy games that respect your time, and I'd love to have you around. Okay, so you want to build a town from scratch in a hot, sunny environment with resource gathering and actual progression. Dinkum is Australian Animal Crossing, except you can punch a crocodile. You land in the outback with nothing, you set up a tent, you start chopping trees, mining rocks, and slowly you build infrastructure to attract NPCs to settle in your town. Except unlike other town building sims where NPCs just show up, you have to meet specific criteria. You need housing, you need shops, you need to complete bulletin board requests. The terraforming is immediate. You get the excavation license early, often within your first few days, and you can flatten land, create paths, dig rivers, build bridges, whatever you want. There's no unlock terraforming at 100 hours nonsense like Animal Crossing. You want to redirect a river on day 2, go wild. Want to build a cliffside neighbourhood, do it. The progression loop is addictive. You're constantly unlocking new licenses, let you access better tools, new crafting recipes, or advanced systems like farming and animal husbandry. You buy these licenses with permit points you earn by completing tasks for Fletch, the town administrator who runs the licensing bureau. The permit system gates content in a way that feels rewarding rather than restrictive. The seasons matter mechanically. Different bugs, fish, and resources appear depending on the time of year. There are seasonal events like fishing tournaments and bug catching competitions that reward rare items, and the climate system affects gameplay. You can overheat in summer and need to manage your temperature with cooling items or shade. The museum system is straight out of Animal Crossing but more interactive. You donate specimens to Theodore and the museum expands with exhibits you can walk through. And you can also complete bulletin board requests for fossils and rare finds, which ties into the town's economy and progression. And it has multiplayer co-op. Up to 4 players can run a town together, you can divide tasks, one person farms, another mines, and someone else fishes, or you can all just wander into the desert and fight emus together. Both are valid. If Starsand's selling point for you was build a town in a tropical warm setting with full creative control, Dinkum already exists and it's fantastic. The developer is Australian, so the vibes are authentically weird, and sunny and hostile in the way only Australian nature can be. The slang, the wildlife, the whole vibe, it's genuinely distinct. Starsand's marketing keeps emphasizing exploration and potential island hopping, discover new islands with unique ecosystems. Moonstone Island has been doing that for a year. You play as an alchemist who just graduated magic school and you're sent to a floating island archipelago for a year-long trial. Your goal is to explore, tame spirits, brew potions and help the local community. It's farming sim meets Pokemon meets deck builder, which sounds like chaos but somehow works. The exploration is the main hook. You have a broom, you fly between procedurally generated islands that each have different biomes, resources, and wild spirits. Some islands are volcanic with fire spirits, others are frozen tundras with ice creatures. The generation means every playthrough has a different map layout, so you're not following a wiki guide to find the best island. The spirit taming system is pure Pokemon but with a twist. Combat is deck-based. Each spirit has cards associated with it, and you build a deck from your tamed spirit's abilities. Battles are turn-based but strategic. Do you use a high damage fire attack or save energy for a defensive earth shield? It's got depth without being overwhelming. The farming and home building exist, but they're secondary. You can set up a farm, grow crops for potion ingredients and decorate your house, but the game doesn't force you to. If you want to ignore farming entirely and just explore and collect spirits you can, the progression systems are flexible. There are romance options with NPCs who have actual personalities. The relationships unlock side quests that expand the lore about the islands and the spirit ecosystem. Waldo is researching ancient ruins and magic, asking you to collect artifacts. Osano runs the local tavern and teaches you recipes that buff your spirits in battle. Different biomes are gated by your gear progression. Certain islands have environmental hazards, poison, fire, electric storms that require specific tools like upgraded brooms or protective amulets to traverse safely. You're constantly unlocking new equipment that opens up previously inaccessible areas. The seasonal cycle also affects which spirits spawn and which resources are abundant, encouraging you to keep playing across multiple in-game years. If you wanted Starsand for the promise of exploration and discovering new places, Moonstone Island is right there. It's finished, it works, and it's got a modding community already, so there's custom content if you burn through the base game. If you're watching this on the mobile app and you think this list is actually saving you money, hit the hype button below the video. It's a new feature that helps smaller channels break through the algorithm noise. If you hype this video, you're basically helping other people find better games to play, and I appreciate it. We need to talk about the people that love the management. You know who you are. You're the people who play farming sims not for the farming, but for the spreadsheets. You want to optimize, you want to automate, you want to assign tasks to NPCs and watch numbers go up. Go-Go Town is your drug. You're rebuilding a deserted town by attracting residents and businesses, but here's the thing, you're not doing all the work yourself. You hire NPCs to run shops, maintain facilities and gather resources, then you manage them like a tycoon game. You assign workers to specific buildings, a baker needs flour so you set up a supply chain where a farmer grows wheat, a miller processes it and a courier transports it to the bakery. You build a fleet of delivery vehicles, trikes, trucks, whatever you unlock, and your couriers zoom around town moving goods between production buildings. The layout matters. If you place shops too far from residential areas or production facilities, your couriers spend more time travelling and less time actually delivering goods. Inefficient town design creates bottlenecks where NPCs literally bump into each other trying to navigate crowded streets. It's not SimCity level traffic management, but you do need to think about flow and pathfinding. The shop management is straightforward but satisfying. You design interiors, place shelves and stock products. Customers walk in, grab what they want and pay. It's not hyper-detailed retail psychology, you're not tracking heat maps or optimizing impulse buy sections, but there's a rhythm to keeping stores stocked and customers happy. Events and festivals require preparation, the summer carnival needs food vendors, game stalls and decorations. You delegate tasks to workers and coordinate timing so everything opens simultaneously. It's stressful in the best way. The real hook is watching your town come alive. You start with empty dirt roads and abandoned buildings. Gradually you attract tourists, unlock new businesses, and transform the place into a bustling destination. Tourist happiness matters. You need to keep the town visually appealing with decorations and well-maintained facilities to keep them coming back. Late game, you're managing multiple production chains simultaneously. Your farmers supply your bakery supplies your restaurant attracts tourists who buy souvenirs from your gift shop. It's all interconnected. And optimizing these loops is genuinely addictive. If the idea of Starsand appealed to you because of the build and manage a community angle, Go-Go Town is pure dopamine. It's chaotic, it's satisfying, and it's exactly what management-focused players want without being overwhelming. Let's talk about innovation. Most farming sims follow the same formula. You have an energy bar, you water crops manually, you chop trees one at a time until your hands cramp. Everafter Falls said, what if we didn't do that? And I respect it. There's no energy bar, you can work as long as you want each day until the mandatory sleep timer kicks in. No more rationing your stamina between watering crops and chopping wood, you just do things. It's liberating in a way that's hard to explain until you've played a dozen farming sims that nickel and dime your every action. The progression system uses cards, but not how you'd expect. You find or buy cards throughout the world and you literally eat them, chomp them, the game calls it, to gain permanent stat boosts and passive perks. Drones move 10% faster, gain more wood per tree, increase fishing success rate. It's weird, it takes some getting used to, but once you understand that cards are upgrade items you consume from permanent bonuses, it clicks. The automation system uses drones. You can craft support drones and program them with specific tasks, water these crops, harvest these feeds, feed the animals. It's not instant, You have to unlock drone upgrades and better batteries, but eventually you can automate most of the busy work and focus on exploration or relationships. Combat is real-time action RPG dungeon crawling. You use swords, spells, and rings to fight enemies. Your pet and drones can help in combat, which is a nice touch. It's similar to Stardew Valley's combat, but a bit more involved, with different weapon types and elemental effects. The story is actually interesting. You wake up and discover your previous life on Earth was a simulation, you've returned to the real world of Everafter Falls, and there's a mystery around why you were in the simulation and what happened while you were gone. The town is populated and peaceful, but there are secrets underneath. NPCs have personal quest lines tied to this larger mystery, and the writing is better than it needs to be for a farming sim. If you wanted Starsand to innovate on the farming sim formula, if you're tired of the same mechanics recycled over and over, Everafter Falls is experimenting in ways that actually work. No energy bar, consumable upgrade cards, drone automation. It's not perfect. The pacing is slower than traditional sims because you're not fighting against a stamina meter, but it's trying something new, and that matters. I've personally been getting frustrated with cozy games that are just shallow busy work with a pastel colour palette, water crop, pet animal repeat, with no stakes, no depth, and no reason to care. Mirthwood is the antidote to that, and I think it might be my favourite game on this list. It's a medieval fantasy sim with deep character customization. You start by choosing an origin, peasant, criminal, actor that gives you different starting stacks and backstory, but you're not locked into a rigid class. The game uses a skill card system where you equip perks that define your playstyle. Want to start as a farmer but pivot to becoming a hunter? Swap your skill cards. Focus on combat cards for a warrior build, or trade cards for a merchant build. It's fluid and lets you experiment. And there are stakes. You can die. You need to eat regularly or you get debuffs. Cold weather drains stamina faster. Injuries persist unless you treat them. Walking into a bandit camp at night without preparation will get you killed. This isn't a game where consequences are abstract, they're immediate and punishing. Combat is real-time and tactical. You can't just face tank enemies, you dodge, block, use terrain for advantage. Fighting a bear in the forest is genuinely tense because it can two-shot you early game. You need gear, you need levels, or you need to avoid the fight entirely. The world feels alive, NPCs have routines, merchants travel between towns, and bandits raid caravans. Wild animals will hunt smaller creatures, and you can stumble onto events organically, a merchant being attacked by wolves, a village celebrating a festival, a travelling performer offering quests. Homesteading is detailed but not overwhelming. You build your house room by room, craft furniture, upgrade tools. You can marry NPCs and they move in, contributing to household tasks like cooking or tending animals. But there's no hiring generic workers to run your farm. You have to manage it yourself or rely on your spouse. That limitation adds to the survival challenge. You can't automate everything and disappear into dungeons for weeks. The exploration is rewarding. The game features 6 distinct regions to discover. Ruins hide rare crafting recipes, caves contain resources and treasure, and some areas are gated by your stats. You need high stamina to reach mountaintop shrines, or high strength to move boulders blocking paths. And the narrative has branching choices. Decisions you make affect your reputation with different factions. The game tracks your renown and morality. Help the local lord and merchants like you, but peasants might distrust you. Side with rebels and you're locked out of certain towns. It's not Mass Effect level branching, but it's more than most farming sims attempt. If you're tired of cozy games with no teeth, Mirthwood has depth without sacrificing the build-a-life fantasy. It respects your time by making choices matter, and consequences feel real. So there's your list. 7 games, 1 week until Starsand Island hopefully delivers on its promises. Critter Cove if you need island vibes right now, Fields of Mistria if you're here for magical aesthetics, Dinkum if you want full creative control over town building, Moonstone Island if exploration is your thing, Go-Go Town if you're a management sicko, and Everafter Falls if you want innovation, and Mirthwood if you need actual stakes. Will any of these replace Starsand Island when it finally comes out? Probably not, but they'll keep you busy, and honestly some of them might end up being better depending on what you're looking for. February 11th, mark your calendars, set your alarms, and prepare your wallets. Until then, we've got options. Which of these is filling the void for you? Are you Team Mirthwood because you want the danger, or are you Team Go-Go Town because you need those spreadsheets? Let me know in the comments. I'm genuinely curious if you guys are as tired of the generic stuff as I am. And finally, if you want to support the channel directly, basically helping me afford to buy all these early access games so I can tell you which ones suck, consider hitting that join button. It keeps these reviews honest and independent. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.